Ladies and gentlemen, well met again, and we are back here with the Hearthstone Alley tournament here in Singapore. We are now currently in Demarque in downtown East, so if you guys are out there, you can always catch it up. But of course, we are going to be in, I think this is now Stage C, Group C, sorry.
Yes, Group C.
Group C, and we have a matchup, Zeys, I think, Zeys versus Kero, and this is kind of an interesting matchup because Zeys, I think it's no surprise, but he was actually listed as one of the top few hundred players. Actually, I think he was in the top 20.
Top 20, yes.
Top 20
legendary
rank players in the NA region. So that's actually pretty interesting to see. But the funny thing is, he actually went 2-1 in the first round against another opponent. So that's
Zula Zing, yes.
Zula Zing. So I'm kind of curious as to whether or not he was unlucky with the draws or what happened. Anyways, we're gonna get right into this game. So let's take a quick look at this. Actually, we see that Kero actually went and mulliganed the cards already. And it seems that now, let's take a quick look at Z's screen here.
Well, you can potentially keep the claw, but anything like swipe, Druid of Claw, and Ragnaros has to be mulligan. You need early drops. Well, looking at Kero's screen, right? This is basically what you call a bad hand.
Yeah, I mean, he already mulliganed this card, so we weren't really actually able to see that. The Forked Lightning, yeah, I mean, unless he has a turn.
It is debatable.
I mean, unless he has like a turn, where he gets like a whole bunch of coins and just coins out of Malagos, that's never going to be coming out anytime soon. And on top of that, he has a Ragnar, so he's just ultimately down 2 cards. Pretty much useless cards until he actually gets the mana for that. So it's kind of interesting to see that this is actually going to be coming out. Not sure what the mulligan cards are going to be, but it seems like the players actually just taking a little bit while. And you know what? Actually, let's talk a little bit about this Malagos though. It's okay. I want to get your intake on like Malagos. Like, why do you think a lot of the players don't really run a Malagos in the deck?
Well, one of the main issues with Malagos is it costs so much to play. It's 9 mana cost for a 4/12. The stats is potentially good, but the thing is, it's 9 mana cost for 4/12. You're essentially wasting our entire turn without doing anything much with playing Malagos. That's why it's considered a bad legendary, whereas Ragnaros like Ysera and Ragnaros, they do something on the turn they come out. So
right, that's very true. Alright, so without further ado, let's just jump right into this game, and it seems like Druid of the Claw and Ragnar's is probably going to be mulligan here. I think, this is actually a Shaman versus a Druid here, and Zeys here on this guy, he's actually thinking of either keeping a Druid. It seems like he really wants to keep the Claw and the Swipe though, so I think he's a little bit afraid of getting
rushed down.
Yeah, rushed down from the Shaman, and he actually draws a Sunwalker over there.
And another Druid of Claw.
Yeah, so it seems like on the Hellburn, what is this? Sorry, I have been talking too much about Hon recently, but yeah, on Kero's side here, he actually top decked the Lava Burst. Really nothing much you can do here, no point in using that Fork Lightning. Gonna go ahead and just use his hero power, get a Healing Totem up. And
another thing, a turn 2 hero power signifies that he pretty much doesn't have any early game.
Yeah.
Well, same goes for Zeys, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, Zeys knows that, and that's why you actually see him going straight for the base over there. He does now at least have extra 1 HP, I guess you could say, effective HP because of that armor. Yeah, you now see the huge mobs coming out. Turn 3, you got a 2/3 double taunts coming out there on top of a healing totem. And right now there is nothing much really that Kero can do, but he can also, I mean, like, what do you think? Do you think he should actually coin into a swipe, or?
Well, coin into a swipe would be kind of a waste here. He could just claw hero power or wrath, essentially will work.
Yeah, I guess in a sense, because either ways he won't be taking any damage at all. I think he's even left with, two armor. So that's actually really, really good for him now, because even if that Feral Spirit is going to hit him, he's not going to take any damage. He, of course, by all means, can play his other bigger cards later on. He's actually going to coin out a Shaman and just end the turn after that. I mean, the Totem.
Yeah, well, that's the thing about playing. That's the thing with playing Feral Spirit on turn 2. You essentially waste your 4th turn, your turn or 4th drop, since you already have overloaded twice.
Exactly. Yeah, that overload can really kill your ramp up time, and it seems like it's gonna be. Is it gonna be like bear form or that cat form? I mean, in this kind of situation, would you choose the taunt over it? Yeah, actually, he's gonna take a taunt, and you think that was the best decision?
Well, seeing he has another Druid of Claw, the first one going taunt wouldn't be as bad. Well, in this situation, it survives up.
Yeah.
Almost survives
Almost
a lot of
survives.
members.
Yeah, I mean that spell damage totem really doing a lot. If you look at the board right now, this is Kero is just flooding his board with a lot of totems, and I think he's just ramping up for that huge fire elemental, which I think he's gonna get in the next round because there's.
Nope.
Oh no, he won't get it because
he will get overloaded. Yes, next round.
Yeah,
He
the
only have
overload.
exactly 4 mana to use next round.
Yeah, that's a little unfortunate for him, but right here it seems like another taunt's going to be thrown out. Zeys is just trying to delay as much as possible so that he's going to have enough mana to play a lot of his other stronger cards.
Well, ultimately, Druid has one of the best late game cards in the entire game. With strong taunts like Ancient of War, he just top decked it.
Yeah.
On top of that, Sunwalker as well.
Yeah,
Basically, he has a lot of answers to whatever Kero has to throw at him.
Right. He just wants to, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, he just needs to wait for the ability to have that mana to actually do all that kind of stuff. And you see right there, he's actually gonna go ahead and silence the barrier. In fact, even gonna trade it there, using the Flame Tongue totem, to do a huge amount of damage in that turn. And again, still no board control coming up for Zeys. It seems like he's actually in a really tough spot, I have to say now.
Because of his early card draws, it doesn't have any early board to sustain the board. So this is what you'll see in a typical situation where you lose out on early game.
Do you think actually having used the swipe in this kind of situation would be a better choice? Like killing off the Flame Totem as the main swipe target and just dishing one to the rest?
Not really, since he has a heal totem. If you swipe 4 directly to the heal totem, directly to the taunt the Flame Tongue totem, the heal totem will still have in effect. It will heal up everyone. So it's essentially 0 damage.
I see.
So the best thing here is to kill off that, is to either silence or kill off the Flame Tongue totem.
Yeah, which he does actually there, and he even top decks a Ragnaros after the card draw from the Wrath ability there. So just quickly taking a look back at Kero, there we go, we see the Fire Elemental, just gonna trade off the Fire Totem there.
The Searing Totem.
Yeah, sorry, the Searing Totem, and he has board control yet again, and now he has a huge creature on the board, and I mean, just looking at it, Zeys just doesn't really have a response right now. I mean, he does have the Sunwalker, and that's going to provide some sort of sustainability there, but of course, that Fire Elemental still is going to survive, nevertheless.
Yes.
I mean, he's still going to take 6 damage if he tries to coin it. I mean, he uses Hero Power the next turn, right?
Yep. So, actually, the best play here is to straight away cast the Ancient of War and go for a 5/10 taunt. That way, you can actually confirm get a kill on, get a trade on, get an advantageous trade on Fire Elemental while still sustaining a very huge board presence.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, like, the thing is, Zeys is actually reaching that point where he has a lot of mana to spend now, and he's got a lot of huge cards in his deck that every time he's getting a huge impact on every turn that he gets, Kero is not going to be able to have any response for that because I mean, just look at his hand. He has a Sunwalker, he has Ancient of Lore, he has Ragnaros for God's sake. He has, I think, he has a Claw, he has a Swipe, he has a lot of board clears as well. So Kero, of course, he doesn't notice, but he actually just top decks a Fire Elemental. He's going to go use the second Earth Elemental. He's going to use the second Fire Elemental to dish the damage onto the shield, ping it off. And look at that, it's a 6/2 right now because of the Healing Totem.
Healing Totem, man. If you have a lot of minions up and you have Healing Totem, basically that's where Healing Totem actually shines the brightest. Whereas you can take favorable trades while still heal up your minions in the same time.
Yeah. In this kind of situation though, do you think he should actually just Starfall here?
Definitely.
I mean, like, yeah, he's gonna do 2 damage. He's definitely gonna kill off one Fire Elemental here, as well as the rest of the totems, and left only with that 6/3 Fire Elemental. I mean, he could
Hero Power and Claw.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, a Claw. Yeah, my bad.
Hero Power Claw, which he definitely does.
Yep, he's gonna do that here. He's gonna only take 3 damage, so it's not the biggest of deals.
Yep.
He's down 20, but there's not real much direct damage a Shaman has. In a sense, and looking at his deck though, do you think, I mean, like, looking at Kero's deck, he doesn't have much direct damage, and at the same time, looking at Zeys' deck, he has that Healing Touch available, and out comes the granddaddy of them all, that huge flaming molten guy.
Praise the Fire Lord, but sadly, there goes Tinker.
I mean, it's still very good, because in this
even then, it's still a preferable trade.
Yeah, I mean, he even has a swipe available for him to use, but I think he's just going to Claw here and go for face. Yep, just adding a little bit of armor onto himself. The 5/5 in this kind of situation, do you think it's just possible in his trade with the minions, or do you think he should just go for the face? I mean, he is really low on HP right now. I mean, he only has effectively 30 HP. He's just going to throw out the Azure Dragon for another card draw. and he has the Lightning Storm. That's gonna kill everything on the board. That's really unfortunate. And a hit to the face.
9 damage to the face.
Yeah, it's looking. Oh, not that.
Oh, no,
9. It's
5
5.
damage.
Yeah, I mean he's looking really. I mean like Zeys is starting to look like he's probably gonna lose the first game here. I mean, wouldn't you? Okay, so he has a swipe available, but he has Ancient of War. Do you think the Ancient of War would be the better play?
Ancient of War would be the safest play, but this is the more aggressive play. Whether or not it pays off is still questionable at this point.
Yeah.
Because if Kero can top deck any direct damage at all, it will be game over.
Yeah, I guess that is a very valid point indeed. I mean, now this Azure Drake is left with that 4-2. He has his spell damage here. He's in fact going to throw another Azure Drake. Out comes a Manatide Totem, sorry, and that's going to allow him to draw cards every single time. In fact, a top decking another Manatide Totem. He needs to be a little bit careful about that because he might actually overdraw his hand. The Death Rattle does come out. In this situation, I guess, yep, the only thing right now is just to do Rooted. So he's going to be a 5-10 and in fact going to try out the Harvest Golem here. Now, the question is, he goes for face, which I think is probably the best choice. You want to keep your extra spell damage.
And you can't kill anything with that. Blood makes handles anyways.
But look at that! That Malik goes with the +5 spell damage!
Oh my fucking god!
Wow, that damage is pretty insane. He just got rid of all his minions. That, my friends, is why...
That is the dream.
Yeah, I mean, Malagos with the 1 mana cost Lightning Bolt, that is just insane. Doing so much damage there. He's only left with the Harvest Golem. I think he knows he's probably dead here. I mean, he has a Ancient of War. Does Ancient of War do anything for him at this point?
He can heal up, but he ultimately still dies to just minion attacks.
Yeah, I think he knows that he's pretty much in a tough situation. Even if he draws, he's still gonna need something against Haunt, but those get easily destroyed. And
yes, the only possible situation he can survive another turret. Nah, actually, that's not.
I mean, the only possible is if he just ends the turn. I mean,
one life, yeah.
If like Kero just ends the turn, then he's probably gonna survive for sure. But it's just unfortunate for Zeys because he just couldn't find the space and footing to actually be able to use his other cards without having to, trade so much on the board already. And he does top deck a Wrap and a Novice Engineer, but I don't think that's really gonna help him now.
Yeah, with his Druid deck doesn't run any Naturalize. He has no answer for it.
So I guess it's pretty much game for Zeys here. He knows it's over. I mean,
Malagos and Fog Lightning, man.
Yeah, who would have thought?
What a surprise!
That was just an insane pickup there. I mean, like Kero actually had a pretty damn strong deck and had as well having the ability to draw out those early Lightning Bolts and everything else. You look at that; he's just gonna go for 1 card draw. He knows this well played. Yeah, he's gonna concede right there. First game is actually gonna go off to Kero right here. So Zeys, that ultimately the better, well, I guess in a sense the player that a lot of people were hoping to get far in this competition, actually falls to Kero, and Kero, man, he did a really, really good job. So, I mean, from that game, what can we, I mean, just assessing that Malagos was pretty strong. I mean, you gotta say, like, Malagos was pretty strong, wasn't he?
Of course. Malagos actually even caught me by surprise. I didn't even expect Malagos, man. It's like Malagos, Fog Lightning for 18 damage to minions.
Yeah, I mean, Malagos was pretty insane. I mean, that Malagos and then that 1 cost of
He basically killed off a 5-10 for free.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, it did like a -8 damage. In total, how much damage did that do?
It deals like 9 damage to 2 minions. It hit the Ancient of War with a 5-10, and what was the other one again?
I think it was a taunt.
I think it was a taunt totem or something.
No.
It was a Manatide totem?
No. Manatide was on his side. What are you talking about?
Oh, sorry.
It's a little confusing. I can't really remember because the game was already over. And so we're just going to go ahead and jump into the second game right here. We have, again, Zeys versus Kero. So, you know what? It's now going to be that Warlock response. I don't know. What do you think? Warlock against Shaman? What is the possibility? Why do you think he went for the Warlock out of his other decks besides his what else? The
Rogue deck.
Yeah.
Well, comparing the Warlock deck and the Rogue deck, the Warlock deck is actually much more aggressive than the Rogue deck. Rogue deck is much more stable in terms that he has aggro plus a bit of control, whereas the Warlock is all out, man. It's all out aggro.
Right. Okay, so
it's kill or be killed.
Yeah, exactly. So anyways, let's just jump right into this game here. We have Kero's hand. It looks like he wants to mulligan the Defender of Argus. He does have the Tink Master, Overspark, as well as the Young Priestess up in the pool. So that's a good mana curve, I guess you could say, with the 1 in the tree.
But ultimately, you will want to mulligan even the Tinker Master, Tink Master for a more aggressive, more aggressive early game.
And what about the hand coming up from Kero?
Well, Kero Earth Elemental is pretty much day card at this point. Even same goes for Earth Elemental. You could potentially keep the mana tide totem, but even with Fog Lightning, you're giving up too much early game.
Right. Okay. Anyways, let's just jump right into this. I think the players are ready to go ahead and mulligan their cards, and you can actually hear the dubstep music in the background, man. That's insane. Chat, what a perfect way to come on into the second game here. Are we going to see the Zeys come back? That's the question is to be seen. And actually, Kero actually decides to keep his hand.
Yeah, questionable decision over there.
Well, anyways, we do see the one turn there. Zeys does throw out the 2-1 Young Priestess. Unfortunately, there's no other mob on the board there to actually buff it up.
Yep.
He actually top decks a power over me. Really nothing much he can do here. He has actually another Young Priestess, which is actually even golden, so it's a pretty good golden epic.
I guess that's his only choice at this point.
Yeah.
Well, looking at Kero's board, he has no answers to it. Except waiting for...
Well, I mean, he actually, in a sense, he got pretty lucky there with the Fire Totem.
That's quite lucky. But
Blood
there we go, Blood him.
There we go.
And another Young Priestess.
Oh, here we go. I think he's probably just going to trade with the Fire Totem in this kind of sense. Or, you see, yeah, it seems like he's supposed to go for face. Do you think that's the best choice?
Trading would be the safest choice right here, but ultimately that 1-1 totem with Zeys, who have experience playing with Kero's Shaman deck the previous round, he knows for a fact that Kero doesn't run any rock biter weapon, so he's quite safe going for his then, but ultimately he chose to go for the trade, which is the safest play.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Fork Lightning does come out, and that's probably going to hit that. Oh, yeah, it actually... That RNG, man. RNG is in his favor, gets that Blood Imp. I mean, the Young Priestess at least got a couple of buffs. It's a 2-2 now. There is a Defender of Argus. There is even that Tink Master Overspark. Could we see... Nah, I was thinking of a really crazy play of just making his creature into a Devil Sword. No, just wants to be on the safe side first.
Young Priestess still has value at this point, so it's best to keep him alive.
I mean, at this point, it's now like a 1 mana cost 3/3. That does boost up the HP of your other minions. So, what was that? That was used? The
lightning bolt.
Yeah, so it does come out, and I do believe the next turn he only has 3 mana to work with.
Yes.
Kero? Yeah, so.
No, Kero has 4 mana to work with.
Oh, 4 mana, yeah,
yes,
exactly.
4 mana to work with.
Yeah, so that's gonna hurt him a lot. The taunt does come out, the Defender of Argus is there. He's just gonna go ahead for a face because he knows that he wants to quickly rush him down. There is the Soulfire as well as the double power overwhelming in his deck, so by all means he can rush him down if he wants to.
The thing is, if you don't kill that spell totem, right, you're ultimately setting yourself up for a very potential board wipe with a Lightning Storm, Fog Lightning, stuff like that.
I mean, he did use 1 Lightning Storm already, right?
He did use a Fog Lightning.
A Fork Lightning. Oh yeah, okay, Fork Lightning. Alright, so I mean there is always that option. He actually gets a Defender of Argus again, so Argusing the other Argus guy. He's actually gonna go ahead and use a Soulfire onto that. He does lose the Harvest Golem, but I think that's not the end of the world, to be honest.
Well, he's probably thinking that he doesn't want to get all his minions too low for the fact that he will get wiped by 1 Lightning Storm. So that's him being going safe. There's Soulfire, that the other Pharaoh Spirit.
Yeah, and in this kind of situation, do you think even using the Tink Master here would be pretty good? I mean, he does have a Flame Imp and double power overwhelming. He does even top deck that Knife Juggler. It seems like he's just gonna go ahead and trade here because, of course, his Void Walker will still be alive. I mean, it's gonna be a 2/2 either ways, and Flame Totem by itself really does nothing unless you have minions on the board and adjacent minions at that. So, I mean, he's not going to have any minions up anytime soon, and even then he has to wait for them to get out of their slumber. So, I mean, that's probably going to be 7 damage to the face, or he's probably just should kill off that Flame Totem, do you think?
Well, like you said, like I pointed out earlier, Zeys has actually experienced playing this deck before, so he knows that he's not running any Rock Biter, he's not running any charge minions, so it's safe to just leave the totem alone right now and just go for face with extra damage.
Do you think throwing out the Flame Impier is good? Oh, it actually ends the turn, so...
Yeah, that would be a wise choice here because you don't want to ultimately play too much creature to get wiped by Lightning Storm.
Yeah, that's very true indeed. But looking at Kero's hand though, he doesn't really have much of board here. He does have another Flame Totem, and that's now a 9-8 taunt. He gets rid of one of the taunts there coming out, the Voidwalker from Zeys, and Zeys, he does top deck a Shadow Sun. I mean, he does have power overwhelming. He's actually gonna go ahead and Tinker Master. Oh, and he gets the Squirrel. What?
That RNG.
That is pretty amazing. Unfortunately, the Juggler didn't hit it, so he went for face. But I think this is pretty much over now. Yeah, he has 12 damage. He does have 13 damage on top of 16 and another 3. Yeah. Well, actually, no. Yeah, he's dead. Yeah, he's dead for sure. There we go. Well played. Zeys, he does come back in this game, so we are actually going to finally reach a 3-game series here in this tournament so far from all the games that we casted. So that's pretty interesting.
Yep. The first third game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what do you think in that kind of situation? Did you think that Kero could have done better?
Well, Kero.
I mean, like, depending on his card draws, what do you think was probably the better choice?
He did what was best at that time, I would say. Ultimately, he just got top deck, to be honest.
He just got top deck, yeah. I mean, a lot of the favor, and in fact, even the Squirrel coming out to make things even much more worse for him would have been a lot much more. I mean, if it was a Devil Sword, it would have been a lot better for Kero, but even then he was still gonna die. He had a lot of responses. He had double power overwhelming. He had the Shattered Sun, which he top decked after that turn, so he had a lot of options for him available to just quickly win the game, and we saw it right there. So now the question is, who is gonna win? That's gonna be pretty interesting. I mean, Zeys and Kero. I think Kero previously he went, it's gonna be a Warlock versus Warlock matchup, guys, and
the interesting here is Kero's Warlock deck is actually a Murloc Warlock deck.
So the Murlocs, guys, it could be a pretty good run, to say the least. I mean, okay, let's just quickly take a look at the hands here. Looking at Zeys' hand, he does have the Power Overwhelming, the Shattered Sun, the Soulfire, and the Flame Imp, but it seems like he wants to get rid of this. What do you think of that?
Well, I would definitely keep the Shattered Sun Cleric, and the Soulfire, and the Flame Imp. Since if you turn one, since he has a coin, he can turn one Flame Imp, and turn 2 coin into a Shattered Sun. It would be devastating with a 4-3 at turn 2. Yeah,
actually that's a really good point. And as for the starting hand for Kero, he does have two drops and a 3-drop there. In this kind of situation, would you mulligan the Direwolf? Or
Direwolf is in this particular situation is fine, I guess, since it does gives more value. It does provide more value to Loot Hoarder, and then Jungle Panther can always benefit from missing his Hide Instinct Stealth.
Okay, so that could be a possibility. What are we going to see the mulligans coming out? We do have Power Overwhelming and Shattered Sun going to be coming out for Zeys, and for Kero, it's going to be the Direwolf Alpha. So he actually does get he does get a Iron Beak also. That's actually pretty good. He does get his other 2-drop there. Here we go, Flame Imp, and like you called it, it's probably going to be into a coin into
a Young Priestess.
Young Priestess.
To buff up his HP.
So now that's ultimately a 3-3 at a 1 mana cost. So, a lot of value being on the board. And both his drops, I gotta say, are actually golden. Look at the odds.
Yep, golden drops, man.
Golden drops, man. He knows that this is his go-to deck. His Warlock deck doing a lot of work here. He does have the Knife Juggler available. Oh, but the Silence comes out quick. I think that's probably the best play there for Kero in that kind of sense. He has 2 Soulfires up already. The Knife Juggler actually probably gonna be coming out here. And
gonna trade off with Owl.
Yeah.
And 3 damage to the face.
Yeah, so it seems like just going for the really standard plays here. And back to Kero though, okay, now the thing is he has a Blood Imp here. And it seems like he just wants to go for he's gonna go for this Murlocs. But the thing is, he can still get rid of the minions on his board.
Yeah. He can still trade off both minions for free.
Exactly, and
which is not actually the best of plays, to be honest, but he has no better choice, I guess. If you play the Loot Hoarder, he'll still die.
Well, what about the Jungle Panther? Do you think it would have been effective in a sense?
It would have, but he has a juggler on the board. So if he plays 2 minions and get luckies on the jugglers, right? He's gonna lose the Panther and ultimately the board.
Yeah. And speaking of a juggler, are we gonna see the juggler? Yes, it does.
RNGesus.
RNGesus in favor of Zeys. That's a 3-2, 3-1, and a 2-1. There's a lot of cards in favor right now for Zeys, and the thing is, he has an added buff from the Priestess, so there's so many things he has to worry about. He has to worry about the Knife Juggler, he has to worry about that, and to add on even more, there's a taunt that was just top decked there by Zeys right here. Do we think, look at that, the orange is really in his favor. Gonna go for face straight, because he knows the taunt is going to eventually kill off the Death Rattle there, not the Death Rattle, sorry, the Loot Hoarder.
The Loot Hoarder.
Yeah, and there you go, it becomes a 3-2 again. So I guess in this kind of situation, Zeys is really in an awesome spot.
Definitely a very awesome spot. You have a Loot, you have a Young Priestess, 2 3-2s, and, well, there we go, no more Void Walker. But still, the Young Priestess ultimately at every end of his turn is gonna heal up one of his minions, adding more value to it.
Yeah, so in this kind of situation, it seems like he's ready for a well played. He's gonna go for the charge and the power overwhelming on the charge and another power overwhelming. That is gonna be 8 damage to the face. Isn't it enough? 12 damage. There we go. That's game. Soul Fight to end it all. What a way to end this match.
Well played.
Zeys,
Well played.
Going into the next, winning his game against Kero. Kero, he did have a good start, but ultimately he did lose out, so a little unfortunate for Kero there, but very, very well played by Zeys. And I think that was a turn, was that a turn 5 win?
It's a turn 6 win.
Turn 6 win, that was pretty insane. I mean,
I gotta give a shout out, man.
Yeah.
Power overwhelming OP.
Yeah, exactly. The power overwhelming did a lot of work there. Really, really well played. And you know what? I guess that this is, I think, one of the closest matches that we had. I mean, it's the only true series that we actually ever casted, and the same fact that we saw huge plays. That was
we
really
saw.
huge plays. I mean, power overwhelming. Now you guys know. This is really a good deck to kind of learn. If you want to get good in this game, you can always copy and differentiate it your own style, your own way, and power overwhelming. Really,
we saw charge power overwhelming, double overwhelming.
Yeah.
We saw Maligos with the fog lightning. Like,
exactly.
Wow.
I mean, like, even having the charge, giving the mana crystal to the opponent, it didn't matter. You can die anyway. So again, really, really well played by who is this? Zeys to win against Kero over there. And I think that is probably gonna do it for this game here. We are gonna go into a short break, guys. So stay right tuned. We'll be back with the next game in the group stages.